In this video, I'm going to teach you 5 ways of how I got over a heartbreak and how you can get over one too. So let's jump into it. Hello, wonderful people. Welcome back to Joy's Infinite Journeys. I am your growth coach here, Joy, and welcome to my personal, loving YouTube platform. All things we discuss here is mental health, things that I've experienced, and tutorials, and things on mindfulness and self-discipline. So let's jump into it. My mental health journey started back in, I'm going to say about 2015 to 2017, but I didn't start really getting therapy until 2017. When I started going to therapy, I realized the benefits of how it affected my mental health, how it affected my relationship at the time, and why it's important to actually seek help when you can. However, my relationship did not at the time work out. And in 2018, I was devastated, heartbroken, emotionally broken, and had no motivation. But I had to rebuild myself. I couldn't just sit there and be miserable for the rest of my life. So I came up with 5 ways that helped me. So I'm going to give you those tips and maybe you can use them into your life. The first tip is to acknowledge the pain and hurt that you're currently feeling. Now, for me at the time, I wrote this letter called the Breakup Project. And I broke up with myself, literally. And not only just broke up with myself, but broke up with the person that I was currently dealing with. I was so tired of getting up every single day, not having any meaning to my life, not having anything to look forward to, and not feeling myself. I typically was a happy-go-lucky Joy, and I just could not get with it. So within that time period, I wrote a letter to myself and I said, I love these parts of you, but I'm not happy with these parts. And I decided it was best to break up with them. And I also wrote a letter, in that same letter, to the person I was currently dealing with and saying, although you made me happy and I appreciated the time that we spent together, I know it's time for us to move on. I wish you the best. And I was happy. And then I moved on. Then not only did I do that, I started to talk it out. I talked it out with family and friends that could give me advice on how it would be beneficial for me to move on and maybe add some things into my everyday routine where I didn't have to focus so much energy on it. Number 2, the second bit of advice that I can give you is to create a functional and healthy routine. Now, my loving coaching style is habits. I teach on habits. Now, people don't really think that routines and habits aren't 2 things that we possibly need to focus on, but you really, really do. So I started to create a routine my senior year of college that actually made me a lot more productive. So I'm going to tell you that morning routine right now. So every day I would wake up about an hour to an hour and a half earlier than when I had to leave the house. I typically had to leave the house at 7:45. So I would be waking up every day between 6:15 and 6:30. During that time period, I would get up, have some time to myself. I would get myself dressed, take a shower, do my morning rituals, whatever, in the bathroom, then come here in my room and then get dressed. After that, I spent time alone by myself. I sat there and I jotted down what I wanted to do for the day. I sat there and I listened to some motivational and meditative music and videos that really encouraged me and empowered me throughout my day. And then I gave my energy to my mom, my dog, and I gave then my energy to everybody else in the world. I noticed making the first hour or first 30 minutes to my day really impacted on how I would give off energy and love to everybody else that was around me, right? So my goal for anybody that comes across this platform is know that you need to make time for yourself before you can make time for anybody else in the morning. I would also look into maybe putting the 5-second rule by Mel Robbins into your routine as well. So the 5-second rule is something I learned along with my morning routine. So she talks about in her book where she couldn't get out of bed every day and she stopped hitting the snooze button. She'd say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then she'd pop out of bed. Every single last decision in which she would make that would be very impactful where she didn't want to do something, she would count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and make that decision automatically. So my suggestion to you is to maybe add that to your routine. If you find yourself slugging around, don't want to do dishes, if you find yourself not wanting to work out, if you find yourself just hitting that snooze button like I did, sit there and just say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and get up and do it. It actually produces your productivity where you actually want to look forward to doing things. And it actually breaks out of the habit of not wanting to do anything at all. Number 3, Read. If anybody can tell you anything, like your elementary school teacher, reading is a fundamental, I would 100% agree with them. Back then, I would not be a proponent of reading, but reading actually did help me get over my emotions when it came to dealing with my heartbreak. Read as much as you can, research your feelings, and understand what's going on. So during that period of time when I was emotionally hurt and heartbroken, I sat there and learned to read about things that had to do with my feelings and research maybe mindfulness and the human intellect and human emotion. A few books that I read during that time was The Fall of the Human Intellect, The Game of Desire, You're a Badass, and The Power to Heal. All that taught me, along with a bunch of other research studies as well, all the things taught me is how to self-develop and how to understand other humans' emotions and how it could affect them as well. What I know is that the human body kind of, is based off of chemical reactions. So if you understand your chemical reactions on how you're able, let me just shut up because nobody wants to care about and know about chemical reactions. One thing I would definitely say about reading is research healthy ways to get over heartbreak. Everything does not fit for everyone. So some people like to typically work out. Some people typically like to sleep. Some people also like to sit here and talk it out with a therapist. I'm a big proponent of therapy and life coaching through trying to heal over a relationship. However, you can just sometimes talk it out with your friends. Not every method works for everyone. So find the method that works best for you so you are able to grow and glow the best way possible. Number 4, therapy. That's it. That's the gag. We're done here, folks. Nope, I'm joking with you. So as you know over here, I've gone to therapy back in 2017. And if anybody knows me on my other platforms, I discuss how I'm currently in therapy now. I think that therapy is the way to go. Now, whether you choose to do art therapy, music therapy, and helps you get your emotions out, or sitting down and doing one-on-one therapy with a licensed clinical social worker or a mental health therapist. Therapy is something that I strongly suggest. It helped me get over my heartbreak and I suggest it to other individuals. But the one thing that I would definitely suggest is finding the therapist that works for you. Sometimes you gotta date your therapist. You gotta make sure you research and understand which therapist is gonna be able to specialize in your niche that you're kind of really struggling with, whether that's depression, anxiety, PTSD. Ensure that you do your research on therapists that suit what you are and also can benefit from working with your ethnicity or your cultural background. Number 5, set new goals. Now that's something that I focus a lot on during my time of healing. I would set goals for small, medium, and then large. Every single day I would make a to-do list for myself. Now, whether that was getting to class on time, making sure I hit my doctor's appointments, or doing small things for my business, Joyful Wellness Project, I ensured that I kept myself busy, active, and looking forward and motivated for the next opportunity. So some of my goals at the time were graduating college, formatting my business, and also starting my documentary series at the time that was called Share Your Story. I looked forward to creating those short-term goals, and some of the long-term goals actually benefited me now, having a job within my niche, and then on top of that, just being able to grow and glow as an individual. That actually helped my habit where I was able to set realistic things in my mind that I knew I could accomplish, and it kept me motivated every single day where I wanted to actually get up and do these things, and I looked forward to even writing them every single night. Those are the 5 ways that I got over my heartbreak, and thank you for tuning in and watching it. If you have anything that you got over a heartbreak by using, let me know in the comment section below. I look forward to hearing from you guys, and I want to definitely get into the conversation. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and definitely share this with your friends.